Hello everyone, Robert Rambles here, and welcome to World of Warcraft Classic and the Season of Mastery. This is going to be the beginning of a new Horde side Season of Mastery playthrough. We are going to be going on a Warlock. We had been doing our Horde side playthrough on a Shaman, but to be quite honest, me and the Shaman class simply never clicked. And it started to get to a point where I kind of dreaded logging into it for all the buttons that I would have to press that I wasn't really having fun with. So we're going to go on a Warlock, and we're going to see if we have some more fun on that. For add-ons on this playthrough, we are going to be using just the Questie add-on. We also have Leatrix Plus. We're using that mainly to automatically vendor any of our trash gear. Whenever we talk to a vendor, that'll go ahead and vendor any of the junk we have in our bags. But yeah, that's it for add-ons. Questie is going to help us find the out-of-the-way quest and the unknown quest that we otherwise might miss. It'll show them for us on the minimap, and I have quite enjoyed using it. It has furthered our explorations of Azeroth. Not much more to say here. We're going to be doing Tailoring and Enchanting. Let's go ahead and get into things.
Bound to the iron will of the tyrant Lich King, the vast undead armies of the Scourge seek to eradicate all life on Azeroth. Led by the Banshee Sylvanas Windrunner, a group of renegades broke away from the Scourge and freed themselves of the Lich King's domination. Known by some as the Forsaken, this group fights a constant battle, not only to retain its freedom from the Scourge, but also to slaughter those who would hunt them as monsters. With Sylvanas as their Banshee Queen, the Forsaken have built a dark stronghold beneath the ruins of Lordaeron's former capital city. This hidden Undercity forms a sprawling labyrinth that stretches beneath the haunted woods of the Tirisfal Glades. Though the very land is cursed, the zealous humans of the Scarlet Crusade still cling to their scattered holdings, obsessed with eradicating the undead and retaking their homeland. Convinced that the primitive races of the Horde can help them achieve victory over their enemies, the Forsaken have entered an alliance of convenience. Harboring no true loyalty for their new allies, they will go to any lengths to ensure their dark plans come to fruition. As one of the Forsaken, you must massacre any who pose a threat to the new order, human, undead, or otherwise.
Wow, that's actually a pretty dark intro when you listen to it. Something I learned recently is that the Forsaken and their starting areas were some of the very last content that the developers created for the game when it was about to ship back in 2004. Pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and let's get some housekeeping done here. We're going to change a couple of things in the UI to make things more visible. I usually move these down here. My eyes can see it a lot better down here than up at the top of the screen. We will lock those back in place so that they don't get flung all over the place. Alright, there we go. Let's go into our settings, and the first thing we want to do is make sure that auto loot is turned on. And then we will turn on some action bars here in the bottom left and right. And I think that should be good for now.
What is it?
Rude awakening. About time you woke up. We were ready to toss you into the fire with the others, but it looks like you made it. I am Mordo, the caretaker of the crypt of deathknell, and you are the Lich King's slave no more. Speak with Shadow Priest Sarvis in the chapel at the base of the hill. He will tell you more about what you must know.
Victory for Sylvanas.
And for anybody wondering about the Shaman playthrough, yeah, I don't plan to continue it, guys. Sorry if you were a big fan of that class, but I just wasn't clicking with the class. I wasn't having fun on it. Every time I went to log in, I kind of dreaded all the totems and buffs I was going to have to manage and keep up. And yeah, I'm not really a huge fan of making myself continue with a character if I'm truly not enjoying it. I don't think that equates for a good experience for me or for you. So here we are, we're gonna give the Warlock a shot, and hopefully we'll have a better time on it.
I'm listening.
Another of the Walking Dead, Must have been quite a shock waking up in the crypt with only the cold and Mordo to greet you. I see the confusion on your face. Let me try to explain our situation to you. We have been freed from the control of the Lich King by our new leader, Lady Sylvanas. The Dark Lady guides us in our war against the hated Scourge and the holdouts of humanity who dog our every step.
Our time will come.
The Mindless Ones. We Forsaken are at war with the Lich King's army of Scourge, necromantically raised armies of the undead, foul beasts of the north, and tormented specters. The northern part of the village has become overrun with the Mindless Ones, and they must be destroyed. Destroy them, show them no mercy, our former brothers and sisters as they might be. The fallen are nothing but the Lich King's slaves.
Victory for Sylvanas.
And what does Venya Marthand have for us?
You are.
Piercing the veil. Greetings, child. I can see that you are still young in the ways of the Warlock, power still eluding your grasp. I can sense your eagerness to learn, and learn you will. There is no strength in ignorance. Knowledge is our greatest power. Through its application, we can control the chaotic magics and beings of the void, bending them to our will. I will show you how to bind a servant to your will, but first you must bring me 3 skulls of the Rattlecage skeletons near the abandoned smithy.
Embrace the shadow.
Alright, so we have auto attack, which we're probably not going to be using a lot, although we might be using it initially. We have Shadow Bolt, sends a shadowy bolt at the enemy, dealing 12 to 16 shadow damage, 25 mana, 1.7 second cast, and then Demon Skin. Protects the caster, increasing armor by 40, and restores 3 health every 5 seconds for 30 minutes. We can make that a clickable. There we go. So we need mindless zombies, wretched zombies, and we also need some Rattlecage skulls. We should probably try to stay at our max range and see how that works out for us. I'd say that worked out fairly well. In the beginning here, we might end up using our auto attack a little bit. As you can see, we really don't have a lot of mana to work with. Eventually here, pretty soon, we're going to have a pet. In time, we will have a wand, and then we'll have to auto-attack basically never. Here's one of the Rattlecade skeletons we need for our Warlock quest. We want to do this right away because it's going to give us our first pet, which is going to be the imp. Although apparently not a 100% drop rate on the item we need. Well, at the very least, we'll be getting our dagger skill maxed out early on. Hey, look at that. That's extremely lucky, guys. We got a bag right away. Inventory space is going to be huge for us. We definitely want as much inventory space early on as we can get. And if we don't have to spend money on the bags, even better. I'm going to adjust some sound settings here. I kind of like to make these playthroughs just kind of chill and relaxing, and as part of that, I tend to turn the music and ambience up a little bit, and some of the other sounds down a little bit, so this should work. Let me know about any of the sound settings, or even sometimes the gamma. Sometimes it gets too dark. YouTube does tend to darken things, so I probably want to go ahead and just make stuff a little bit brighter than it would normally be. Let me know about that, or if it's too bright. I feel like that might work okay. That's all the Rattlecade skulls we need. We need a couple of more mindless zombies. I'm gonna run back to town really quick though, and we're gonna see if we can get our imp.
Hello.
Your power is little now, though I suspect already you sense the possibilities. Even the dead might feel alive with that power coursing through us. Though you are still untested and young in your learning, you have proven that you possess sufficient ability to master the summoning and binding of an imp. Do not be deceived by an imp's size. Though it lacks physical strength, it possesses powers and a cleverness that will serve you well.
Do not seek death.
Okay, let's go into our demonology tree. And we will summon our first pet. The first thing I have to do is I have to bind its attack button, otherwise we're gonna have to click it. I like to keep it on defensive so it doesn't go out on its own and attack, but when you do that, there isn't an assist option the way there is in current day World of Warcraft, so we have to tell the imp to go in on every enemy we want it to fight. Let's see, key bindings, action bar. I think I'm going to make this... let's see. Let's do Tilde. Oh, that wasn't it. What did I just bind? I thought that was our special action, but apparently not. Let's see. Special action. Pet action. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Pet action 1. Okay. Perfect.
I'm listening.
And Novice Elrith here has the Damned for us. My duties include tending to our wounded warriors, tailoring armor and clothes, and assisting Shadow Priest Sarvis with whatever else he might need. From the look of it, you'll be enlisted in his service also, hunting the mindless ones, if I know his mind. Well, if you'd like to stay in one piece, and I've no doubt you do, perhaps I can help. I'm running out of paws and wings, and if you bring me some, I'll find some armor for you.
Dark Lady, watch over you.
Alright, first things first, let's finish up with the mindless ones. We can have our imp start things off here. Now the imp is not going to hold threat over us, nor is it supposed to. But the imp is going to give us that little bit of extra DPS to make sure that we don't have to rely on stabbing things as much with our dagger. We're going to get this one turned in before we work on anything else. And I think we also have to talk to our trainer to learn our level 2 skills as a warlock.
Hello.
We have learned immolate.
Dark Lady, watch over you.
Burns the enemy for 9 fire damage and then an additional 20 fire damage over the course of 15 seconds. So that's going to be our first dot, our first damage over time. These key bindings are going to change, but for now we'll leave things where they're at.
I am forsaken.
It's unfortunate that the Scourge cannot be brought into the fold. Their large numbers would be useful in the battles ahead, but they will not join us, so we have no choice but to destroy them. We'll take the gloves. Tainted Scroll. This is telling us to speak to our class trainer, which we've already done. And rattling the rattle cages. You've shown your potential to the Forsaken under normal circumstances. Now let's see you under pressure. The Rattlecage Skeletons, more mindless minions of the Lich King, are tougher foes than the zombies you have faced thus far. Again, thin their numbers and prove yourself to the Forsaken. Do not tarry. When you are done, speak to me again.
Trust no one. Speak quickly.
Welcome, sister. I knew you would come. It was only a matter of time. What I said interested you, didn't it? I hit a chord. Something inside you knew what I claimed was truth. Good. Know this, though. I am no traitor to Sylvanas. If anything, she would appreciate my claims, considering it was her own beliefs that has put the Forsaken in the position it is now. A little bit of weirdness there. I mentioned a slave still being a slave, no matter the master. Do you remember? We both know that it is the type of control, that type of power that now drives us. We seek to have creatures serve us. We know we are more powerful and deserve more respect than others give us, and so now we look to take it. I will be your ally in this struggle, the struggle for your own freedom, freedom to seek your own allegiances. When you feel ready, return to me and I will teach you all I know. Wait. What did we... that's weird. Maybe Questie is being a little bit buggy. Seems like it's being a little buggy. Alright, now we need to hunt the Rattlecage Skeletons, and beyond them we need the Scavenger Paws and the Dustbat Wings. So I'm going to open up with Immolate and get the dot ticking before we start going into Shadowbolt. See, we can wait on the imp. We don't have to tell him to attack. We can wait until we get hit. But then we're just kind of wasting time where the imp could be putting out some damage. So we really do need to make sure that we command him to attack as we attack. I want to try to get all the Rattlecage Skeletons before we leave this little area and seek out the bats and the wolves we need. Okay, that's 12 out of 12. Let's head back and we'll turn this one in and we'll grab the follow-up and then we will head out after the wolves and the bats that we need. We're also going to take a second to empty our inventory. We're lucky so far we got that additional bag, so inventory space hasn't been an issue yet. But if we're not vigilant, it certainly will be.
What now?
I am finished with you. You have shown yourself to be worthy of the freedom that you have been given. Many will stand against you for what you have become, but know that no matter what they may try to do against us, we are free and will not be shackled again. Alright, that gives us level 4. Let's equip some of the gear we have in our bags here. I think that's everything we can put on for the time being. We did hit level 4, so let's go ahead and train. We're getting Corruption, which is another damage over time. Corrupts the target, causing 40 shadow damage over 12 seconds. And Curse of Weakness. Damage caused by the target is reduced by 3 for 2 minutes. We don't have enough money for that yet, but once we vendor, we may be able to pick it up. Not sure why Questie is continuing to show us this quest. I'm going to go ahead and hide it. There we go.
I am forsaken.
And there we go. So that was Leatrix add-on. It was vendoring all of our junk, so we don't have to think about the junk. We just have to go in and think about anything else in our bags. The food and the water we'll keep for now. We probably won't need much of either right now, but we'll keep it. And now we're just looking for bats and wolves, apparently. The good thing about staying close to the town and fighting these is that they're level 1 and 2 here, and I think if we go further out away from town, they get to be level 3 and 4. So we'll take out as many as we can right here nearby. We've ran into young nightweb spiders, which means we have gone a little bit too far. Let's head back in this direction. And yeah, staying right by the town made that really, really quick and easy, didn't it? We are going to take the bracers. Marla's last wish. My friend Marla Flips lived with her husband Samuel before the plague, but when the plague came, Samuel succumbed and joined the Scourge's ranks. Marla was spared an undeath only to die at the hands of her now mindless husband. So strong was her love, however, that her last dying wish was to be buried with her beloved Samuel. Samuel Phipps roams at the ruined camp along the road northeast of Deathknell. Defeat him and grant Marla's wish. Bury him at her grave.
Goodbye.
Okay, a little bit morbid, but we can do it. Alright, Death Guard Saltane here has a quest, Scavenging Deathknell. You there, if you're looking for something to make yourself useful, then listen up. We need fresh, out-of-the-ground recruits to head into Deathknell and search for any sort of useful equipment. Most likely, they'll be in stacks of boxes. We expect more recruits to be rising soon, and unless we want them to succumb or to stumble about naked, we had better get scavenging. Nobody wants them to stumble about naked. Well, I mean, that's not true. I don't know that for sure. We'll help anyway. Nightweb's Hollow. One of our greatest struggles is obtaining the natural resources we need to survive. Gold was scarce, even in the height of the Alliance's power. There is a gold mine to the northwest that has been overrun with spiders. We need gold from the mine, but we can't very well get it while the spiders are crawling around in there. I've not much manpower to commit to the task, so we'll just have to do it little by little. And that means us, friends. That means us. We need to find Samuel first before we can bury his body, but when we do bury it, we will be doing so over here, I think, at the graveyard. The items we need are going to be inside and around the buildings. That's not going to be too hard because nothing here is aggressive. Okay, we need just one more. And we're going to turn this one in before we go hunting for spiders, or, well, we could do... Let's run over here and get Samuel. And then we could bury his remains and complete these two quests together, and then we'll go out and we'll fight the Nightwebs. There are a lot of named guys here. It's strange because we never really have to deal with any of the other ones. But here is Samuel. Let's come over this way a little bit. And we'll send our imp in. We do need to get corruption out to our bar. It's not going to be very critical here, but... that's right, corruption has a cast time right now. Eventually, if we want, we can spend talent points to make corruption an instant cast. But for right now, it's going to have a cast time. So I'm going to switch some things around a little bit. That's better. I kind of thought maybe we'd get like the lady's ghost to come up and do some roleplay, but apparently not. Here are your crates. We will take the belt.
Beware the living.
And we can get that equipped now.
What do you require?
We still can't afford Curse of Weakness. Not really a big deal. It would decrease the amount of physical damage that somebody could deal to us, but again, right now that's not really a big deal.
You ask of death.
There goes all of our junk, leaving just the item that we need to actually equip. There we go.
Embrace the shadow.
Okay, now we can head up to the northwest. And we need to kill 10 nightweb spiders. No, 10 young nightweb spiders and 8 night. So we need to fight 18 guys. That is quite a kill quest for a level 4, but I think we're up to the task. We could keep hurling shadow bolts, but I don't want to have to sit and drink, and we are very capable of being incredibly mana efficient and just kind of using our damage over time abilities, as well as our imp, which is a damage over time in and of itself, and just kind of getting the last couple melee hits in to finish these guys off, because shadow bolt is our biggest cost right now, I think. No, they're all corruption. Okay, so shadow bolt is only 25, immolate is 25. I think we're good without spamming Shadow Bolt right now. We get enough damage from our damage over times. And what I really enjoy on a character is when I can go like multiple pulls without having to stop and drink or stop and eat. So that's kind of the playstyle that I'll be aiming towards. I'm not always going to be trying to do the most damage that I can. I'm going to be trying to just go from pull to pull without getting low on mana, without getting low on health. And as a Warlock, we're going to have a lot of tools later on that help us do that. So here we go, the Nightwebs are going to be aggressive, and these are going to be the first aggressive enemies that we are up against. Should be interesting to see what happens. We've already got, well, this guy kind of just walked past, actually. He didn't seem to care about our imp, so that's fine with me. Ignore the imp at your own peril. Looks like we have a battered chest hiding back here by the well. We are definitely going to grab that. Not much in there, but at this point in the game, everything is worth it because we can sell. That's 8 out of 8 for the night webs. We're going to grab a couple of the young night webs right outside the mine, and that's going to be it. Now, we could probably go ahead and use our Hearthstone. I don't think we're going to have a better opportunity to use it here in the starting area, so we might as well go ahead and use it now. Is it going to save us a run? Not really. It's actually not going to save us too much of a run because it puts us down here in the grave, and then we still have to run up to get to the town anyway, so probably a useless Hearthstone, but that's fine. It's not a big deal. I know this episode's probably getting a little bit long. I am going to be doing hour-long episodes for this series, around an hour, so anywhere between 50 minutes, hour and 10 minutes, somewhere in there. That's how I've been doing most of my series recently, and it has felt a lot better for me than doing shorter half-hour episodes. I get to kind of get into a good rhythm, and, you know, that way at the end of the series, instead of having 200 episodes, we end up more like with 100 or something like that. It's just better for the pacing. Nightweb's Hollow. Well, it's a start. It'll take a few weeks or months to fully clean out the infestation. After that, we'll have to get down there with some torches to burn away the webbing. We will take a vest. The Scarlet Crusade. You'll be happy to know we appear to be making progress in the mine, thanks in no small part to your efforts. We can now turn our eyes to other concerns. My scouts have reported that a detachment of Scarlet Crusade is setting up camp southeast of here. The Scarlet Crusade is a despicable organization that hunts us, and they will not rest until every undead, Lich King Scourge or no, is destroyed. We must strike first. Be careful, their unholy zeal makes them dangerous adversaries.
Remember, patience.
Alright, let's throw on the vests. Yeah, jeez, I mean, we're looking good, right? I mean, we're looking a little shaky in the legs, but other than that, we are perfectly fine. Anything else? No, everything else is not as good. Let's go ahead and vendor.
Be quick about your business.
Oh, that's cool. It even sells the junk gear, so like the gray items. Which early on, sometimes the gray items are better than your white items, so you might want to be careful with that, but either way, it's fine. If it sells something that you don't want it to sell, you can always go to the buyback page and just buy it back.
Our time.
Scarlet Crusade guys are going to be right over here to the east. So we need 12 Scarlet armbands. They are not going to be 100% drop, so we might have to fight more than 12 of these guys. I kind of had a feeling we were going to pull that additional... Oh, crap. Okay, then. Let's get our imp on one of these guys. Luckily, we don't take a lot of fire damage from these spells. We are pretty lucky with that. I'm going to send our imp over on this one. Okay. Let's get in here and start with the stabbing. I was kind of hoping there would be a chest or something to pick up if we fought our way to the middle of the camp, but I guess there's not. Let's not start leaving any loot behind. That would be bad. I'm sure somebody was already yelling at me there. Okay, that is 12 out of 12. We're probably going to have to fight our way out of here. We did work our way a little bit deeper into the camp than was absolutely necessary. But that's okay. If only they listened to reason, huh? Perhaps we could sit them down for a reasonable discourse. Ha. Yeah, probably not, right? We can get a dagger upgrade. It's not really critical, but we will equip it. The Red Messenger. Reports from my superiors in Brill indicate that an agent of the Scarlet Crusade was dispatched from the Scarlet Monastery and sent here to Deathknell. According to the reports, the messenger possesses important information on his person. I do not have further details, but whatever it is, we must have it. You're the most qualified person I have to send. Find that messenger and bring me whatever information you can find.
There
Okay, the messenger. Oh, he's gonna be over here again to the southeast. Probably could have sold all of our stuff there back at camp, but we have a lot of inventory space right now, so I feel like we'll be fine for a brief outing. This guy down here is randomly yelling stuff, which concerned me for a minute. I thought somehow we had been detected, but I think that we're fine. Let's come over here. And here we go. Here is the messenger. Meven Korgal. Let's see what you've got. He begins to rifle through the document you recovered. Some news of their exploits against us, worthless. Scouting reports, new orders. Continue to build up a camp near the ruined city. Nothing we didn't know already. Ah, what's this? A map of the dispositions of some of their field commanders and agents. We can use this. We don't need either of these things right now. These will need to be taken to my superior, Executor Ziegand, in Brill. With this information, we'll be able to deal a decisive blow to the Scarlet Crusade. Your services have been useful here in Deathknell, but I need someone to deliver this to Ziegand, and I believe he'll be able to find you more appropriate work. Take the road north out of Deathknell. Soon after entering Tiersville proper, you'll hit a crossroads. Take the eastern fork and keep going east. Alright, so that is the end of our journeys here in the Deathknell. Now we will move on to Brill. Looks like we will have a couple of quests to try to pick up along the way.
I'm listening.
Do a favor for a young man who's been fighting more than his fair share of mindless zombies and spiders. I got this letter that needs to go to Brill.
Watch your back.
Alright, we can do that for you. Deathguard Simmer here also has a quest for us.
What would you ask of
Fields of Grief, what have we here? You look like a fledgling warlock. If you hope to prove yourself to the Dark Lady, you need to learn the ways of the Forsaken. To the west you'll find a farm. Humans infest the land like mold on a rotting corpse. And worse yet, the Scarlet Crusade patrols nearby from their tower. Teach those scum a lesson and steal 10 of their precious pumpkins. Do we do this now? I feel like we're gonna get sent back out here. For the Scarlet guys, right? Yeah, I don't think we want to do this right now. I think that ideally we hold on to it until we have at least one more quest that sends us out into this area, and I think there will be plenty of things to bring us over here, so we're gonna hold off on that. And we will continue on the road to Brill. Somewhere along the road we should meet an abomination named Gordo. And he should have at least one quest for us to do. Although I think one of the last times that I quested here, I couldn't find Gordo to save my life. I don't think I ever found him. And all he's really supposed to do is patrol the road. Questie kind of marks his path. We'll see if we run into him now. If not, we will have opportunity to run into him later on. But he has a quest for us to gather some specific types of herbs in the area that we can do while we're completing other quests. So yeah, I'd like to... Here he is. I'd like to get him now. He's making a weird route. Okay, he's attacking something. Yeah, so he wants us to collect these gloom weeds, which we can definitely do. Are there any nearby? Doesn't look like it. I think we collect these and then we take them to somebody in town. I don't think we return the quest to him. We also don't need to really worry about completing it now. We're going to be back out here fighting some of these same enemies that we are currently surrounded by. That's why I'm trying to avoid them. If we can avoid fighting now, I'm going to do that. It looks like we have to take on this one to get to this gloomweed here, so we can handle the one. This guy's level 7, so a little bit tougher, a little bit more health than the guys that we have been up against so far. And now that we're out of the initial starting area of deathknell, they are beginning to drop linen cloth, which we're going to need. We are going to be working on tailoring and enchanting for our professions. I would really like to get one more of these gloom weeds before we get into town. Because we're going to turn this one in, and then it's going to have a follow-up. The question is... Oh, here we go. I'm not going to pick up all the quests yet. I'm going to get everything turned in here. And then I think that we are going to take a little bit of a break for today, guys. Seems like it's been a long one. Like I said, I will try to keep the episodes around an hour each. And once we are working on our professions, I'll probably do any profession stuff we have to do at the end of the episode. So those of you guys who are interested in the professions can stick around for it. Those who are not can bail. Obviously today we don't have our professions yet, so this guy did not need gloomweed, he needed doomweed, is all we really need to know for that one. But yeah, I'm going to get the stuff turned in over at the inn. And then we are going to take a break, get some rested XP. And when we start off again, we will collect all the quests here, we'll check them out, and then we will make a plan of action and head out into the greater area here. Hope you guys are having fun with this one. I am enjoying the Warlock class so far. It deals quite a bit of damage. I like how we can sustain our mana. I hope that's going to be a trend going forward. But yeah, we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, I really appreciate you all being here with me today and spending your time here in Azeroth with me. It does mean the world to me. So take care of yourselves out there and take care of each other. And we will see you back here in Azeroth sometime soon. Bye now.